What's up, party people and magic makers? Destiny here. Welcome to Magical Monday. These are my weekly mindset videos. And if you like them, please go ahead and like them below so that I know that you're paying attention and that you want more of this. Also, feel free to share this with anybody that you feel like could use this information. This is meant to be shared. So today we are going to be talking about how we are 100% lying to ourselves, and I want you to stop it. Why? Because it is so not healthy for you. So not healthy for anybody. Okay. So, as always, I work in a little bit of storytelling with this so that I can give you an example and then you can grasp onto it. But what I've been noticing in the past 3 or 4 weeks of coaching and doing my free energy sessions is there's a part where I ask people how they feel about something. Whatever that thing is that's bothering them or making them feel less than, I ask them how they feel about it. And very rarely do I actually get an emotion word. I get this grand explanation, however, I don't actually get the words that express the feelings. And what I realized is we were not taught this stuff. We were not taught EQ, right? We were taught IQ, not EQ. And so I usually have to, like gauge them and suggest the like words and tune into them to figure out what it was that they were feeling. And then when I say that, they're like, "Oh, yeah, that is how I was feeling." And I'm like, "Okay, so see, there was a disconnect between the thing that happened and what they were feeling. And when we dig into that disconnect and why there was this separation between what happened and how they were feeling about what happened, they actually stopped themselves from feeling more because they started comparing what they were feeling to somebody else. They started to compare their traumas. And all I can say is, stop it. Stop it. A trauma is a trauma is a trauma is a trauma, no matter how big or small. If it is something that you are remembering and going back to and pulling up in your memory over and over again, if it is something that when you look back on the timeline of your life, it causes some pain and some suffering and some negative feelings, trauma. Okay? That's just simply what it is. And I have seen far too many people, men and women included, who are comparing their traumas to somebody else because they're like, "Oh, well, their life was harder, so mine wasn't that bad, so I shouldn't complain about this." That is what we were taught, right? Is like to always look outside of ourselves to see where somebody else is and then determine where we should be. The thing is that doesn't help us process our trauma. That does not help us move through what is really going on. Okay? And then we let other things trigger us over and over again because we haven't healed that trauma. Okay? So really take a look at how you are lying to yourself when you're like, "I'm okay. Oh, my life wasn't as bad as theirs." That part might be true. However, you are totally washing over the shit that happened to you, either as a kid or a young adult or even in your adulthood, right? Stop lying to yourself. Shit was fucking happening, and that needs to be healed. That needs to be healed. Because if you don't, it's going to keep coming back. You are creating the evidence that this is the thing that you want more and more and more of, and then you will get it. And then you will get it. And it's truly, truly not what you want. But because it's unhealed, it's an open wound, and people can poke at it, and poke at it, and poke at it, right? And they may not even be intending to poke at it. They just don't know. It could be a simple word that triggers them, and you don't know what that word is, but you just might say it out of context, and boom, there it is. This unhealed trauma is now unleashed on you. And that's what happens is we unleash our unhealed trauma on other people, right? Like if you look at the people who are closest to you, that they're the ones that usually get it the most, right? So we are just, that open wound is just like oozing out all over everybody, and that is not okay. That is not okay. So I am begging you, imploring, please, just for the first step, identify how you're really feeling using emotion words, right? And I joke with my clients all the time, but sometimes I will pop up, there's an emoji chart for kids, and like it has all the faces, right, of how they feel: sad, happy, angry, disappointed, embarrassed, whatever it is. I will pull that up and I will show it to them, and I'm like, tell me which one it is. And from there we kind of dive in to the deeper emotion. But if that's where you're starting, awesome, start somewhere. Start looking and identifying, how are you really feeling, instead of pushing it aside, dumping it down. Again, we talked about this before, the squishing and the pushing of the emotions down, it leads to a blow up later, again, to the people we are most closest to, right? And so here we are, stuffing. Nope, that does not work. That is not good. It causes health problems. It causes so many issues. We need to stop. Okay? So start identifying how you are truly feeling. Use the emoji chart. Kids use it, we can use it, right? There are these beautiful emotion wheels out there that you can use to identify how you are feeling. And once you identify it, be okay with it. It's so uncomfortable, I know, and we don't like to be uncomfortable. That's the last thing we want to be in. And like our brains are firing off saying we're not safe in the uncomfortable. Except we are. We're okay. Right? And feeling ourselves through this, oh my gosh, the healing that it can bring. The amazing healing that it can bring. All right? So I'm going to go ahead throughout this week, and I'll post the pictures that I use during my sessions, and I'll post the emotion wheel for you. But take a look for yourself, right? And just start identifying, like, how are you truly feeling? And it's okay to feel like oodles of emotions at the same time, right? I ride the wave of like feeling happy and excited and like disappointed and shame and guilty and like they all make us human. They all make us beautifully human, right? And we get to start identifying it, because if we don't, we are freaking lying to ourselves, and we're lying to other people too. So we need to stop. We need to stop. All right? So how you feeling? Comment below. I would love to hear from you. All right, until next week. Peace.